What is going on, everybody? My name is Brendan, and it is time for another Pop Culture Crisis movie review that is not a movie review. It is a television review for episode 4 of The Acolyte, entitled Day. I am here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Honestly, the most shocking thing about this episode is how short it is compared to the other ones so far.
It was
about 25 minutes long with 5, maybe 10 minutes of credits because, you know, it takes a lot of people to shit out a turd this bad, you know?
It's okay. Anybody watching today, you likely, if you're watching a review for this, you're either hate watching the show or you are looking for different reviews of these episodes because it's a sort of morbid curiosity. You're not going to get a whole lot of lore talk from me.
That's fine.
It's just, you're not. What you're going to get is conversation about just how boring any episode of television could be and how flat every performance and bit of camera work could be. That was the other thing I realized was starting to bother me today as I started watching it more. I couldn't put my finger on what it was that was upsetting me so much about so much of how the show is produced. And I think a lot of it has to do with the really, really stagnant and still camera work that is done, because it's these massive green screen sets and they're not moving the camera a lot.
The one thing I noticed is that they're using these sweeping aerial shots on grassy knolls, and I was like, you're not Lord of the Rings. Stop trying to be.
Yeah, because those are, without people in those shots, those can be done entirely in post, and they don't have to worry about somebody in the foreground. Wow. Okay, so this is episode 4. So they are traveling. They are now going after May, and they're bringing Osha along.
Right, which she put up a fight like she needed to go through some convincing to agree to be part of this mission, and she was like, I just can't. Amanda, I'm sorry, she is just not a good actress. She cannot portray any emotion, whether she's playing May or Osha. They really don't have personality traits. But she reluctantly agreed to go on this mission.
Hers wasn't as bad as her portraying May when she says, "I can't believe my sister is Jedi scum." I mean, it's Xanax face while saying, "I can't believe my sister." There is zero conviction behind anything that's said.
She's not a convincing villain. Also, why is this loser simp boyfriend following her along everywhere exactly?
Because he was her middleman between her and her Jedi master.
That's okay. I just, so much of this, I ask a question and I realize there's not really an answer to it, and I stop caring.
No, actually, I do have a question about that. Why doesn't May, who is a villain, feel as duplicitous as him? He gives off the vibe. He
believes in it more than her.
He gives off the vibe of a villain. Now, she shouldn't necessarily seem weaselly, which is the best way to describe him. He's weaselly. But why doesn't she feel anywhere near as evil as he does? There is zero difference between Osha and May.
Yeah, no, not at least in the way that it's portrayed on screen. And she's supposed to be this capable warrior and someone who's very discreet. And meanwhile, she detests this, weaselly simp who is following her around, but needs him at the same time. It was very confusing. But I think more than any of the other previous episodes, this one, and also The Acolyte, more than any other Star Wars show, treats the audience like they are stupid by rehashing all of the details of the plot from the last 3 episodes in exhaustive detail. Like, it basically, like that meeting they had with the Jedi where they're talking about May's plan and they're doing a debriefing, and they're like, they pulled up the hologram of her victims, and the ones who are coded in red are the ones who are already dead, and the green one is alive. Was just like, yes, I understand. I already watched that happen. Nothing happened in the previous episode, which is all flashback. And then somehow nothing happened in this episode either. And the plot did not move along further at all.
Technically, something did happen. Are we giving spoiler alerts?
Yeah.
Here? Okay, so
I mean, no one cares
they
anyway.
went after Kelnaka, and they find out. So both they're looking for Kelnaka, meaning that Osha and Master Soul and everybody are looking for him. But then May gets there first, and he's already been killed. That's the big thing that happened here, and it took to get to the 18-minute mark of a 20-minute episode for this to happen.
Right. There was this confusing point before that where she abandons her weaselly simp boyfriend hanging upside down in the forest, and she decides to completely change her plan. But I still don't understand if she has realized that she was wrong and is having a change of heart, or if she just came up with a new evil plan.
Yes, she so literally earlier in the episode, she says, I can't believe my sister is Jedi scum.
But she also said, my loyalty is only to my sister.
Yes. So
what do you actually think about your sister? Do you think she's Jedi scum, or do you still have love for her? I don't get it.
She literally gave up on something that she said that she wouldn't do like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, she has no conviction.
Yes.
Whether it's good or bad.
I'm actually having a hard time making this funny because it's just so confusing and stupid.
Yeah, and also I wanted to ask, did you remember the name of that like animal character?
Basil.
Basil? Okay, that's where the they-them came in.
Yes. Oh, okay. I said it. I think there's much ado about nothing. It's stupid.
Okay. Yes, it's much ado about nothing, but it's not nothing if they decided it was important to include this throwaway line about they-them pronouns that apparently exist in the Star Wars universe.
I just don't even want to give them the time.
It's just yet another thing that bonks you over the head with contemporary social politics and online discourse and takes you completely out of the story, which by itself is already bad.
I don't even want to give it the time of day because it's like all this does is spur them on.
Not to mention, they're also hinting at a gay romance between Osha and alien mullet girl. What is her name again? Jackie?
Jackie, yeah.
Yeah, so that's inserted there, which we're starting to realize why this is called the gayest Star Wars ever made.
Not just that. Look. The only time I got a mild inkling of excitement was when they set Basil to track. I was like, this actually feels like they're thinking about something that might actually be adventurous and fun.
Okay, but I still didn't like the way that they put Basil in the show here because it doesn't feel like a Star Wars character, and it doesn't look like Star Wars. It doesn't feel like Star Wars.
Well,
it feels like some
marketing to me.
Yeah, it's like just planning to sell this as a toy.
I mean, I have no problem with that. One of the things I thought funniest was they made Baby Yoda, they made Grogu, and then there was no merch for it because they didn't actually realize it was going to do well.
Yeah, so now they're doubling down on that plan.
Yeah,
but when the Master showed up at the end of the
blaster over.
At the end of the episode, I first off was so confused why all of these Jedi were standing back. And
Vernestra's maybe the worst out of all of them. Anytime she talks to Master Soul, I'm just like...
But Soul and the rest of them were not even drawing their lightsabers. And then when they finally did, they did it in a line and then just stood there while there's clearly a threat.
Osha should be dead.
Right.
Osha should have been dead the moment that what were they calling him? Darth Gimp Mask?
Yeah, Darth Gimp Mask.
As soon as the lightsaber was drawn, should be dead.
Right, but
the plot
he is
needs
just
to
a
keep
plot
going.
device. He's just a plot device. And then that shot where they have him turn to the direction of the camera really quickly was the cringiest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. Oh, also there's a line the only person worse in the show. I mean no disrespect to the actors. I know people hate it when you preface that, but you're not good. I'm sorry. I wouldn't be good at it either, but the Charlie dude, he's worse.
What? The
Barnett.
guy who plays Yord?
Yes.
Really?
He's
I thought
worse.
that he wasn't as bad as Amanda Stenberg in this, at least in this episode.
They're both awful in this, and the only time that it's worse is when they're both having scenes together, which is one of the scenes that they have where she talks about she's talking about how she doesn't belong here and she had to be dragged on this mission, and then 10 minutes later she's like, I'm feeling things again, or I can sense things again. What?
Yeah, I didn't really write down.
She says, I feel different.
Dialogue.
I sense things again. And I'm like, 10 minutes ago, you were complaining about the fact that you didn't need to be on this mission.
Well, I think she didn't want to be on the mission because she felt guilty if she were.
Yeah, she said, I wouldn't have the courage to face my sister.
Right, exactly. So she feels guilty about betraying her sister,
She says,
even though her sister is a murderer.
Here, I'll read the line to you again, and I'll read it just as they do, which looks like it's off cue cards. I feel different. I sense things again in a way that gives me the courage to face her.
Yeah, she's just not really giving any emotion and when she's delivering these lines. But by the end of the episode, it just cut there, and I was like, wait, that's it? Like that was the episode?
So I guess the murder mystery is who killed Kelneka.
But we already know it's Master Gimp Mask.
Yeah, but we don't know who that is yet. So that's the murder mystery, is figuring out who the big bad is.
Okay. It's not really giving it much of a cliffhanger there at the end of the episode, but it was shockingly short for an episode when the rest of them were about 40 minutes. This is like half the time. And
Vernestra's really bad. Anything with Osha or May is really, really bad. There's zero emotional conviction in anything either of them say, and there's no way to tell anything apart. Happiness, it looks the same as sadness, looks the same as fear, looks the same as every other emotion, and it's very hard to buy into a performance when you can't actually feel any sense of urgency behind a performance. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if this is the fault of the directors, who are just not asking to pull more from her, in the sense that she's not giving lines. When she says the line, I can't believe my sister is Jedi scum, you couldn't have given it like 2 more takes and getting some inflection in there and some rage in your voice, but there's none.
Not even rage, but like, where's the disgust factor?
It's like Star Wars on Xanax.
Yeah, and even their attempts at comic relief in this episode completely fell flat.
Was there that?
Yeah, with Basil, right? He was supposed to be a comic relief character, but I just was stone-faced.
Yeah, nothing happens in any of these episodes.
This is the most something has happened in the entire show so far. So it could really pick up from here.
Yeah, the other character, the one that May was traveling with, is far more interesting in that he actually is far more duplicitous and evil seeming, and actually seems to have a personality of his own.
Seems like Ezra Miller would have played that character.
Could have. I think that actor is doing a good job with it. Of course, he has to be a buffoon and get trapped in the.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. May is a mad, an amazing assassin warrior person. Great.
She doesn't, if she's this amazing assassin warrior person, she's not portraying any confidence or self-assurance or even belief in her cause.
There's no inciting moment. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering this. So his name's Kamir. That's the name of that character, the one who's with May.
Okay.
He basically says, like, sit down, like, I'm gonna go, and he goes out, right? And she's gonna come back to her. And then at some point between that and when she catches him in the trap, she's now completely decided to change her mind, either because she's changed her evil plan to make another evil plan, or because for no reason at all, she suddenly has loyalty to her sister. My hope is that it's another evil plan, otherwise it makes no sense whatsoever. But there's no inciting incident that I can recall that actually triggered her to do that.
She's literally on the warpath, being a serial killer, and suddenly decides, I'm gonna turn myself in. Like, but there's no, maybe I'm just stupid. That's what I was thinking while watching this. Maybe I'm just stupid and I'm not picking up on all the clues and I'm the problem here. Or more likely, the script just sucks.
Yeah. Like I don't know what that is. If there was something that I missed, it's completely possible.
They're gonna have Osha and May team up and do the girl boss thing by the end of the show.
It'd be too expensive because then they'll have to double the shot of them, and that's a lot of work.
But they didn't do that for the younger actresses, which is weird.
It's 2 people, right? But it's one actress playing 2 roles.
It's not that difficult.
With the same haircut, despite the fact that they haven't seen them.
That they've stayed the same haircut for 10 years, by the way, without seeing each other.
It's crazy. Well, it's like twins, they can sense each other.
There's just too much that doesn't make sense to ignore it. Because I would be willing to suspend disbelief, but it's too much.
There will be plenty of other people that will have a lot of critiques of the lore and everything that's going on here. I know plenty of people feel that the changes to the lore are being done simply to spite Star Wars fans. I can't call to that. What I can call to is that they needed a lead actress that had really, really good emotional range for a couple of reasons. One, because it's the type of show that requires that, right? They're gonna feel anger, they're gonna feel exhaustion, they're gonna feel joy, they're gonna feel all these things. But not just that, they need to be able to differentiate May from Osha, and they just didn't get an actress that is able to aptly do that, and that's a problem when you're trying to build a relationship with one with the other. At the very least, you should be able to identify with Osha and hate May, but I feel ambivalent towards both of them because there doesn't seem to be any characterization that separates the two.
No, Osha doesn't have a personality. Can you name like one personality trait that Osha has?
Yes,
I haven't picked up on anything. Is it that? Because she's supposed to be like a vulnerable, scared person, right?
Exactly. That's the point. Like that's not working.
And I'm not seeing it.
All I'm getting is stoicism, and she's supposed to be so much more than that. And the same is sort of true of Osha, right? She should be feeling a lot of different things while she's being dragged around by the Jedi to go on this mission.
Yeah, I mean, Amandla she shows more emotion when she's clapping back at trolls online.
That's what then that's the problem. The director should have been like, okay, now imagine that you're yelling at someone on the internet because they don't like your TV show, and then she would be able to emote. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Guys, let us know down below what you think. If you are one of the big Star Wars fans, what are your critiques of how the lore is presented? I would be interested to know whether you actually thought the Basil character, outside of the pronouns mishgas nonsense, was maybe the one bright spot that actually felt like they decided to get away from their boring story and have a tiny bit of fun for 8 seconds while they set it loose to go track down Kelneka. I don't know, but let us know down below what you thought of the episode, what you think of how they're treating the lore, and stay tuned for more reviews for the show. We've got 4 left, so there will be another one next week right at this time. Later, guys.
Bye.
Yep. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.